Well, Valentine's Day is approaching, and one movement hopes to encourage young Christians to break free from dating trends in today's culture. Regent University recently hosted the Unhooked Purity in a Pornified World event. Special guests and panelists talked about ways to remain pure in the face of pornography that is more available than ever. And here to tell us more about that event, which will be televised coming up this week, is Ashley Key.
Yeah, hi.
Thanks for telling us about this.
Of course,
What
yeah.
was your inspiration for this event?
Well, last year was the first ever Unhooked series CBN did. So last year we talked about singleness and dating and abstaining from the hookup culture and really unhooking ourselves from the world and hooking ourselves to God's word and living pure, you know, what he really calls all of his kids to do. And so, you know, once we tackled that last year, we were like, okay, well, what are we going to talk about this year? And you can't talk about sexuality and living pure without talking about the issue of pornography today, because 70% of people in the church watch porn. That is a problem.
Well, it's so interesting because it's so accessible. I mean,
Exactly.
even when you don't want something that's popping up on your phone.
Exactly.
So what was the tone? What were some of the ideas that were presented? Some takeaways that people were given?
Yeah, so we had amazing guests who were part of the panel. The panel is going to air next Friday on Valentine's Day. We have Brittany De La Mora, who was actually in the porn industry as a film star for 7 years. So we talked to her. We talked to her husband. We talked to Chaz Smith, who's a really popular YouTuber. He's about, you know, a 20-something-year-old guy who is open and honest about his porn struggle and still, you know, fighting that temptation, because the whole thing with Unhooked is purity is so much more than just sexual purity. That's one aspect. But what we've talked about, the conversation is purity is purity of heart, purity of mind, purity of spirit, and that then leads to physical sexual purity.
What did you pick up, or what surprised you from some of the things that the panelists were talking about?
Man, you know, I was honestly very surprised by Chaz Smith. He was really open and honest. You know, most everyone who we talked to were like, yeah, you know, we had 2 ladies that we spoke to. They were addicted to pornography. That's something, honestly, that surprised me was, you know, a lot of people think that pornography is not just a struggle that guys go through, but it's also for females, too. We struggle with pornography because it's so accessible. But I was really surprised at just their transparency. Chaz, you know, opened up and just said, you know, I still struggle with it. I'm not on the other side, but I'm here to help you guys know that you're not alone, because transparency and accountability is key in overcoming a pornography addiction.
So it sounds like more the focus in terms of prevention is on the front end and where your thoughts are, as opposed to maybe on the back end trying to figure out how to manipulate your phone.
Honestly, it's both. It's both. I mean, we talked about both. We spoke with Jessica Harris, who was a porn addict. She grew up in the church, addicted to pornography, and she really gave some really good advice to parents. You know, I asked her, well, what advice do you have for parents who are finding out that their kids are watching porn, or what advice do you give to parents to prevent that? And she gave some really good tips on that as well. So we do kind of do both things.
All right.
Yeah.
And any plans for next year? Will this continue on, or that remains to be seen?
I think it's going to continue on. I'm not sure what the topic will be next year, but I mean, we have to continue to talk about these things because it's needed. You know, we have to break free of the taboo topic and just talk about it and be honest.
And we live in a culture where we're being bombarded, even like the Super Bowl halftime show, which everyone was talking about.
Exactly.
So yeah, and details on where people can watch this and when.
Yeah, all they have to do is just go to cbn.com/unhooked starting the 10th, Monday, February 10th. That's where all the content will be. In addition to that, if people want to take their freedom a little bit further, we have a course called Set Free. All you have to do is sign up for that, and that is a really great resource to just encourage you. It's a video online course with the discipleship, community, all of that involved. Just go to cbn.com/unhooked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is a great ministry. Thanks for sharing
Thanks
with
so
us.
Much.